What's up YouTube, Capital G here, checking out the first revealed cards from the upcoming Burst of Destiny core booster set. This of course is the core booster set coming after Dawn of Majesty. Will we see this set by the end of the year in the TCG? I do not have the answer to that, and honestly only TCG Konami knows, but heck, they might not even know right now because, you know, sets are still getting delayed actively in the TCG because of, well, you know why. Anyways, we knew that this was going to be a Vrain set just because I'm pretty sure this is the 6 core booster sets in the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's era, and every single set has had a character from one of the 6 anime series, obviously not counting 7's, and Vrain's was the only one that hadn't had a character yet, so it was kind of obvious that this was going to be a character from Vrain's. I was really hoping it would be Aoi Zaizen, but it was much more likely that it was going to be either Revolver or Playmaker Yasaku, and they decided to go with Revolver. Now, the interesting thing is, Borreload are getting a ritual monster, which is crazy. That's gonna be the first card that I talk about. Well, I'll talk about the ritual spell first, and then I'll talk about the monster. But the interesting thing is, we actually still don't know the cover card of the set. Usually when Konami reveals the cards, they let us know what the cover card is and what it does, but they didn't do that this time. So the ritual monster is actually not the cover card. Anyways, let's go ahead and start breaking the cards down. We just have 3 cards to talk about. They're all, of course, Revolver cards because, you know, Revolver was the best character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. That's not even debatable. Anyways, the ritual spell is Heavy Trigger, and it's bizarre saying that like ritual Borreload monster, but Heavy Trigger is a ritual spell, and this card is used to summon Borreload Riot Dragon. That's the ritual Borreload monster. It says tribute monsters from your hand or field, or you can destroy rocket monsters you control or in your hand whose total levels equal 8 or more. Then ritual summon 1 Borreload Riot Dragon from your hand. The special summon monster cannot be destroyed by battle with monsters special summoned from the extra deck. Also, it's unaffected by the activated effects of monsters special summoned from the extra deck. So that's actually pretty damn insane. Obviously, for any of you out there who hate Dragon Links and don't like rockets and you feel like they're too good, sorry, but looks like they're gonna continue being pretty darn good because this is a pretty insane ritual spell. Obviously, like on its face value, it acts very similarly to a ritual spell, but it also lets you like pop your rocket monsters from your hand, or rocket monsters that you have on the field. That obviously is super good because it can trigger them, but more importantly, the thing that really makes this card ridiculous is the fact that it gives your Savage Dragon, or excuse me, your Riot Dragon, Savage is a synchro, it gives your Riot Dragon just an insane amount of protection. Basically, extra deck monsters just can't out it. Like, they can't run it over, and they're like, he's unaffected by all of their effects. So your opponent's gonna have to use a spell trap or some type of just main deck monster. Or I guess they can summon like a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck from the graveyard. They can revive it, but I thought that this ritual spell was actually pretty damn crazy. Let's go to the actual ritual monster itself. That is, of course, Borreload Riot Dragon. The stat line was pretty predictable. It's a level 8 Dart Dragon monster, 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. I'm just gonna guess that that's the same stat line from Borreload Savage Dragon and Borreload Fusion Dragon. By the way, I must be the only one that didn't realize that these Borreload monsters, they're color-coded. Like, their color correlates perfectly with their mechanic. Like, Furious Dragon is purple, Savage Dragon is white, this one is like a lighter shade of blue. Obviously, the Link Borreload monsters are like a dark blue. I didn't realize that until now. I was like, oh yeah, they're all color-coded with the mechanic. Anyways, you can ritual summon this card with Heavy Trigger, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but since these cards list each other in the card text, doesn't this mean you can run pre-prep of rights or pre-preparation of rights to get both cards from just pre-prep? Like, that seems pretty cool. It says the first and second effects are both hard once per turns. First effect, if your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, quick effect, you can negate the summon, and if you do destroy that monster or monsters, then destroy this card or 1 rocket monster you control. Second effect, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 Borreload or rocket monster in your graveyard, destroy 1 card you control or in your hand, and if you do, add that target to your hand. So this is a card with 2 excellent utility effects in my opinion. The first effect obviously is just simple negation, And yes, I know a lot of people are like, come on, Cap G, how much more negation does Borrel need? The Borrel Link 5 has negation, Borreload Savage Dragon has negation, and now obviously they get summon negation, which is definitely cool. I mean, what deck doesn't special summon in Yu-Gi-Oh? Most decks are going to use some type of inherent special summoning, whether it's just special summoning from the extra deck, or it might be an inherent monster like a Cyber Dragon or something like that. So the first effect is good, and you can always kind of pay for it, even if you don't have a rocket to destroy. This guy can just pop himself basically, and you get that you get that negation, and you get the get rid of those monsters. But the second effect is really nice as well. So this card being a ritual monster, it does technically, like, it can basically just add itself back from your graveyard to your hand. And I really like that. Or you can add back any of your rocket monsters, which obviously is good. And honestly, even if you're playing something like Borreload Savage and you're just running one copy, I've seen a bunch of duels where Dragon Link players, they summon their Savage, it ends up dying, and maybe they wish that they would have had another copy, or they would have been able to go back into it. This could allow you to use something like Borreload Savage a second time, even though you're just running one copy. You could put it back in your extra deck and then just resummon it. And honestly, I think to trigger that second effect isn't very difficult. Basically, all you have to do is pop a card on your field or in your hand. I mean, I'm pretty sure you got one dead card. A lot of times after they use Revolve Boot Sector or the field spell, after they've summoned some cards from the graveyard, usually that card doesn't have that much utility, so it's nothing to just pop that or pop a rocket monster. They float anyway. So I think this card is definitely really good, and keep in mind that you're going to have all of that insane protection from extra deck monsters most of the time you summon this card, unless you're summoning it some weird way. Like if you summon it, if you just summon it with the ritual spell Heavy Trigger, you're getting an insane level of protection. So I think the card is super solid. Now the last monster is Dual Wheel Dragon, and this is a level 8 Dart Dragon monster, 2500 attack, and you've got 1500 defense on this guy. Your first and second effects are both hard once per turns. The first effect says you contribute this card, then target 2 rocket monsters with different names in your graveyard, special summon them in defense position. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 rapid trigger or heavy trigger from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I'm going to take a wild guess, and you guys don't laugh at me. I'm pretty sure that Rapid Trigger is the fusion spell that summons Borreload Furious Dragon, but like nobody plays that card, so I mean, maybe if you're playing that, that's cool, but obviously it does search the ritual spell. My biggest question with this card is how exactly are you supposed to summon it? I mean, I get you could technically just use it with like Dragon Ravine and never actually have to draw the card or summon it, just dump it straight into the graveyard, but for the first effect, where you're tributing this card and you're summoning 2 rocket monsters back from the graveyard, like that's kind of cool, but just like, how am I supposed to get it on field? It's a level 8. Now, obviously, maybe you just want to use it from hand, you want to ritual summon with it, and then use the second effect to just grab another copy of the ritual spell or something, but I don't know, you really need to run this card. Like, the level is pretty nice, but I mean, like Rockets, you can already run like high-level monsters like Absa Router Dragon and stuff like that can probably fulfill this purpose. I think this support is pretty good, honestly. Like, it's pretty hard to make a ritual monster good by 2021 standards, but this ritual package is definitely legitimate. Now, I am still wondering what the cover card is going to be. It is red, so maybe it's a red Borrel monster, which, I don't know what mechanic that is going to be. Maybe it's going to be the Hyper Summon, which I created and Konami never actually made into the game. But, yeah, maybe it'll be a Borrel 6 or something like that. Whatever you guys think the cover card is going to be, you leave that in the comment section below. But very interesting to see a spicy ritual Borrel monster. Thank you guys for watching as always.